What if the biggest shock in WWE history didn't come from a seasoned wrestler, but from someone nobody expected? The news hit the wrestling world like a lightning strike. Steven Seagal's daughter was stepping into the squared circle, and the arena wouldn't know what hit them. Rumors had been swirling for weeks. Secret training, underground fights, whispered hints of a mysterious newcomer, but nothing prepared fans for the truth. Social media exploded with speculation. Could it really be true? Could a Hollywood legend's child suddenly appear in WWE, ready to take on seasoned champions? Every post, every comment, every video clip circulating online carried a mix of disbelief and excitement. Fans debated her skills, her intentions, and even whether she was serious about wrestling or just leveraging her famous last name. Meanwhile, backstage, whispers traveled faster than the speed of the crowd's roar. Wrestlers peeked from the locker room, trainers adjusted their plans, and announcers scrambled to gather any detail. Nobody had seen her face, yet everyone sensed something extraordinary was coming. The lights, the sounds, the sudden anticipation, it all built a sense of urgency and mystery. And then came the first hint of the most unforgettable night in WWE history. A single tweet, a cryptic backstage photo, a short clip showing a silhouette in motion, enough to make hearts race. The question lingered in everyone's mind. What would Steven Seagal do when his daughter stepped into a world built on chaos, athleticism, and showmanship? Audience curiosity is locked in. The stage is set, the stakes are high, and everyone is holding their breath for the first moment the story truly begins. The crowd buzzed with anticipation. Every eye in the arena scanned the stage. Every whisper fueled the rumor mill. No one knew exactly what to expect, but everyone knew it was going to be unforgettable. Backstage, wrestlers exchanged puzzled glances, trying to piece together what was about to unfold. Who was this mysterious newcomer, and why had she been hidden from the public until now? Social media turned into a storm. Fans dissected every photo, every shadow, every hint of movement caught on camera. Conspiracy theories and wild predictions spread like wildfire. Could she really be as skilled as whispers suggested? Was this a stunt, or the real deal? The speculation itself became a part of the spectacle, drawing viewers deeper into the story, unable to look away. Meanwhile, the arena's lighting shifted subtly, creating an eerie calm before the storm. Every subtle sound, the shuffle of boots, the creak of the ropes, heightened the tension. Announcers struggled to maintain composure, their voices tinged with awe and disbelief. Even seasoned wrestlers felt the electric charge of the unknown, sensing that this debut would challenge everything they thought they knew about the ring. And then, almost imperceptibly, a shadow appeared on the ramp. A figure moved with quiet precision, carrying an air of control and confidence. The crowd leaned in, collective breaths held. A single thought raced through every fan's mind. What will Steven Seagal do when the moment comes? And how far will his daughter go to make her mark? Curiosity hooks remain intact. Tension is rising, and the audience is primed for the next chapter, ready to follow every move, every action, every revelation. Before the lights of WWE ever shone on her, she was already preparing for a stage no one would have guessed. Long before cameras, crowds, and roaring cheers, her days began before dawn. The sound of heavy bags thudding and mats sliding through empty gyms became the rhythm of her life. Each strike, each roll, each repetition honed a skill that few would ever witness. Secret tournaments, hidden dojos, and underground fights became her proving ground. She moved like a shadow, training under different names, mastering techniques that blended martial arts with raw combat instincts. No one could trace her progress. No one knew her story. Yet every small victory, every meticulous move built a foundation that would later stun the WWE universe. Her dedication wasn't about fame, it was about mastery. Every bruise, every drop of sweat carried purpose. She studied past legends, watched tapes of champions, dissected their strengths and weaknesses in solitude. Her mind became as disciplined as her body, anticipating reactions, calculating precision moves, and developing a signature style that was both unorthodox and lethal. And through it all, Steven Seagal's presence lingered, not in interviews, not in appearances, but as a silent benchmark of excellence. Though she refused to lean on his name, the essence of his discipline and philosophy flowed through her training. Fans wouldn't see it yet, but this invisible preparation would make the WWE stage quake. By the time she finally stepped into the ring, the audience would witness more than a debut. They would witness the culmination of years of hidden perfection, a storm ready to erupt. Every day of training brought her closer to the inevitable moment. Yet the world outside had no idea she existed. Rumors swirled quietly in wrestling circles, a whisper of someone extraordinary preparing in the shadows. Every rehearsal, every drill, every silent morning spent in isolation added fuel to a fire the WWE Universe had not yet seen. She moved like a ghost in the gyms of Thailand, mastering techniques that blurred the lines between martial arts and pure combat. No cameras, no social media posts, no interviews, just relentless dedication. Even her closest allies didn't fully know her limits, and that secrecy became part of the intrigue. Fans who would later discover snippets of her past fights were left stunned by what they had missed. Backstage, insiders began to notice hints, scraps of footage, tournament results, fleeting mentions in underground circuits. The question everyone whispered was the same. Who is this woman? And what will she do once she steps into the WWE ring? Each speculation added tension. Each story fueled anticipation, drawing fans closer without them even realizing it. Her focus was unwavering. Every strike was calculated, every movement rehearsed to perfection. She envisioned the ring as more than a stage. It was a proving ground, a place to test her discipline, precision, and courage. And somewhere in the back of her mind, the unspoken challenge lingered. Could she step out of her father's shadow and command the spotlight on her own terms? By the time her debut rolled around, the anticipation wasn't just for a match, it was for a revelation. The WWE Universe was about to witness something unforgettable. The arena fell silent. Every fan's heartbeat seemed to sync with the slow pulse of the spotlight, waiting for something extraordinary. And then, without warning, the lights shifted. A single figure appeared at the top of the ramp, a silhouette moving with quiet confidence, unhurried yet commanding attention. The whispers turned into gasps. Could this really be Steven Seagal's daughter? The crowd leaned forward, eager eyes tracking every subtle movement. She stepped into the light, wearing nothing flashy, no gimmick, no hint of celebrity lineage. Just precision, poise, and an aura of someone who had trained not for applause, but for mastery. The announcers struggled to find words, stammering through introductions while viewers on every screen held their breath. Every second built tension. Inside the ring, rival wrestlers sized her up, trying to read the newcomer. Their curiosity and uncertainty mirrored the audience's. Everyone knew this was not an ordinary debut. As the first bell chimed, her movements were deliberate, calculated, and flawless. A simple step, a subtle feint, a glance to the opponent, it was clear she was already in control. Fans on social media exploded, theorizing about her skills, her training, and what this moment meant for WWE. The combination of mystery, talent, and unexpected calmness created a perfect storm. The debut wasn't just a match. It was a statement, a spectacle that blurred reality and legend. By the end of her first few seconds in the ring, one thing was certain. The WWE world would never forget this night. The audience was fully hooked, eyes glued, waiting for the next move, the next twist, and the next revelation. While the crowd erupted, another layer of tension simmered backstage. Cameras didn't catch him yet, but the whispers began. Steven Seagal was watching. Not from the front row, not for publicity, but somewhere behind the scenes, unseen, analyzing every move. The anticipation of his reaction added a weight no one in the arena could feel, Yet every fan sensed something monumental was about to unfold. The newcomer moved with a calm precision, countering attacks as if anticipating them before they happened. Every strike, every feint, every subtle adjustment drew the crowd further in, while online speculation soared. Fans wondered if Seagal had trained her personally, or if his influence was more of a shadow, guiding her indirectly. The unanswered questions only fueled excitement. Backstage, commentators and wrestlers whispered among themselves. "Did you see that? She moves like she's done this 1,000 times before. I wonder what Seagal thinks right now." The tension wasn't just in the ring. It extended to every corner of the arena and beyond, across social media feeds worldwide. Even the simplest gestures, the tilt of her head, the controlled breathing, the measured pacing, hinted at a deeper story. Something calculated, something deliberate, something that would shock the world when revealed. Every fan felt the pull of curiosity, the irresistible urge to see the next moment. By the time the first major exchange ended, the audience wasn't just watching a match. They were waiting for the unseen reaction, the reveal that would change everything. The story of Seagal's daughter had only just begun, and the stakes had never felt higher. Just when the match seemed unstoppable, a new tension gripped the arena. Backstage cameras captured a rare glimpse: Steven Seagal, silent, composed, watching every move. His presence was felt even before he appeared on screen. Fans could almost feel it, an invisible weight in the air like the calm before a storm. Would he intervene? Would he merely observe, letting his daughter make her mark independently? The wrestler in the ring moved with flawless precision, yet every subtle nod, every slight adjustment hinted at a silent guidance. It was as if an invisible hand had sharpened her instincts, calibrated her timing, and amplified her confidence. The audience felt it too. The spectacle wasn't just about skill, it was about legacy being tested, and the shadow of a Hollywood legend looming over the ring. Social media feeds exploded. Theories raced across every platform. Was Seagal training her behind the scenes? Was this a subtle warning to WWE veterans? Every viewer felt a blend of curiosity, awe, and disbelief. The mystery created a tension that anchored the audience to their screens, unable to look away. Even the announcers' voices faltered, struggling to describe what they saw. The juxtaposition of a calm, disciplined athlete in the ring and the unseen force of Seagal's influence created an irresistible pull. Fans weren't just watching a debut. They were witnessing a collision of worlds where secrecy, skill, and celebrity converged in real time. By the end of the segment, the audience's anticipation had reached a fever pitch. Eyes glued, hearts racing, fully immersed in every second of the unfolding drama. The atmosphere in the arena changed instantly. A hush fell over the crowd as the first real strike landed. Precision met power in a move that seemed almost choreographed by instinct. Every eye followed the motion, every fan holding their breath. The strike wasn't just a display of strength, it was a declaration. The newcomer wasn't there to perform, she was there to dominate on her own terms. The opponent staggered, unable to predict the combination of speed and technique. Yet the move wasn't reckless. Each strike flowed into the next with seamless fluidity, a rhythm that mesmerized even the most seasoned viewers. Fans were captivated by the contrast. Controlled, calculated aggression against raw, unpredictable brawling. Social media erupted with instant reactions. Clips were shared, memes were created, and the hashtag tracking her debut trended globally within minutes. Backstage, wrestlers whispered in astonishment. Trainers adjusted notes, commentators recalibrated their commentary, and fans debated the skill level in real time. The first major strike had set the tone. This debut wasn't just a spectacle, it was a lesson in mastery and focus. Every subtle detail, from posture to timing, demonstrated years of secret preparation. Even the announcers' excitement couldn't mask the awe in their voices. The crowd roared in approval, but the tension lingered. Everyone knew this was just the beginning. The debut had fully hooked its audience, combining curiosity, adrenaline, and disbelief into a single, unforgettable moment. By the end of this sequence, viewers weren't merely watching, they were living the story, compelled to see every next move, every reaction, every twist the match would bring. Just when it seemed she had full control, the opponent regained footing. A sudden counterattack shifted the dynamic, turning the audience's excitement into edge-of-the-seat tension. Every movement now carried higher stakes. Fans leaned forward instinctively, hearts racing as the sequence of strikes and counters became a silent battle of wills. Her opponent threw everything into the attack, swift punches, quick feints, desperate grapples, but she remained unnervingly calm. Precision met anticipation. Every strike was met with perfect timing, every dodge a demonstration of hidden mastery. The audience felt the suspense physically, as if their own reflexes were intertwined with the action in the ring. Online viewers dissected every frame, replaying clips in slow motion, analyzing angles, counting every move. The debate was instant. Who had the advantage? Could anyone match her combination of raw skill and meticulous preparation? Each moment intensified the curiosity hook, forcing viewers to stay glued to the unfolding drama. Backstage, even seasoned wrestlers whispered in disbelief. Trainers and commentators could barely hide awe as the tide of the match shifted yet again. This was more than a debut. It was a statement of dominance tempered with intelligence, a dance between aggression and control. By the end of this turning point, the audience's engagement reached a new peak. Curiosity, tension, and amazement combined into an irresistible loop. Every fan watching now was compelled to see what happened next. Who would control the match? Who would falter? And how this debut would change the entire WWE landscape forever. As the match intensified, the arena erupted with energy. Every gasp, every cheer, every stunned silence became part of the narrative. Fans weren't just watching. They were emotionally invested, reacting in real time to every strike, every counter, every strategic move. The energy in the arena fed back into the action, amplifying the suspense and drawing viewers deeper into the story. Meanwhile, online communities exploded. Clips of the match spread like wildfire across social media platforms, fans dissecting every detail. Comments debated technique, speculated about training, and marveled at her composure under pressure. "Is this real?" one post questioned. "She moves like she's been here for years," another said. Each comment acted as a subtle endorsement of skill, building credibility and fascination simultaneously. Even casual viewers who had clicked out of curiosity found themselves hooked. They paused, scrolling, eyes glued to the screen, drawn in by the mix of tension, precision, and mystery. Hashtags tracking her debut began trending worldwide, reinforcing the narrative that this was not just a match, it was a cultural event. Backstage, the buzz was palpable. Wrestlers analyzed footage, trainers whispered tactical insights, and commentators scrambled to match the audience's excitement. Every second amplified the stakes. Every reaction, cheers, gasps, and viral shares fed into a loop of engagement that kept viewers glued from start to finish. By the end of this section, it was clear. The audience wasn't just watching a match. They were living it, feeling it, and eager for the next twist, the next move, and the unfolding story of a debut that would be remembered for years. The match had reached its crescendo. Every strike, every dodge, every feint had built to this singular moment, the final confrontation that would define the debut. The crowd held its collective breath, senses heightened, hearts pounding in unison with the rhythm of the action. Even casual viewers felt the weight of anticipation pressing against their screens. The opponent, battered but unyielding, launched a desperate offensive. Yet she remained unshaken, every muscle, every reflex honed from countless unseen hours of preparation. Time seemed to stretch as the first major strike connected, the subtle sounds of impact echoing through the arena. Every fan, every viewer was locked into the spectacle. This wasn't just a fight, it was a statement, a culmination of strategy, discipline, and raw skill. Social media exploded in real time. Comments analyzed the precision, praised the technique, and debated the turning points. Clips went viral, looping endlessly, capturing the attention of fans who hadn't even been following the debut. The tension wasn't just in the ring, it existed in every feed, every conversation, every reaction. Then came the decisive moment. A perfectly timed counter, a subtle pivot, and the signature move landed flawlessly. Silence fell for a split second before the roar erupted, an eruption of awe, respect, and disbelief. The debut had reached its climax, leaving the audience not just entertained, but captivated, inspired, and desperate to witness what came next. By the end of this section, the crowd and viewers alike were fully immersed, caught in a loop of suspense, admiration, and curiosity, ensuring that the story would linger long after the final bell. The final bell rang, but the echoes of the match lingered long after. The crowd erupted into a mix of awe and admiration, not just for the victory, but for the statement that had been made. She wasn't merely a debuting wrestler, she was a force, a silent revolution unfolding before their eyes. Every fan felt it, an energy that drew them deeper, a story that resonated beyond the ring. Backstage, whispers of disbelief spread. Trainers, commentators, and fellow wrestlers analyzed every moment, every subtle move, trying to understand what had made the performance so captivating. Even seasoned professionals recognized the precision, the composure, and the unique approach that defied expectations. Social media became a storm of reactions. Clips, memes, analyses, and discussions, with every comment fueling the curiosity loop and keeping the audience engaged long after the match ended. She walked away without a word, letting her performance speak. There were no celebrations, no interviews, no reliance on her famous father's name. The silence itself became a statement: mastery, independence, and focus over fame and theatrics. Fans debated, reflected, and admired in equal measure, caught in the magnetic pull of a story that had been crafted not just for entertainment, but for respect, curiosity, and inspiration. By the end of this chapter, viewers weren't just witnesses. They were participants in a narrative, emotionally invested, hooked by suspense, and eager to see what would come next. The debut wasn't merely an event. It was a masterclass in engagement, storytelling, and the power of a quiet, unstoppable force.